Welcome into this episode of The Rating Wheel on WMTH Park Ridge. I am your host, Jonathan, and today I'm going to be ranking my favorite movies. Now, to get right into it, Twisters, the new one that came out in 2024. It has a lot of great things about it. It has a lot of modern systems, like it showed the Storm Prediction Center that did not exist at the time of the first movie. The time of the first movie was the NSSL, which was National Severe Storms Laboratory. Now we have the Storm Prediction Center. So it had that. It had the guy who live streams going into tornadoes.
Owens calls himself Tornado Wrangler.
He kind of reminded me of Dr. Reed Timmer. For those of you who don't know, he basically does that. He goes and live streams tornadoes. He's on Team Dominator. But, I mean, Reed Timmer isn't as crazy as this guy was. But then the main character, Kate, she's likable. There was a good backstory. We got a lot of more backstory than the first one, where the first one was more, okay, yeah, we found out who it was later. But it was actually a very needed remake, and critics liked it better than Twister, which is not very common. And my second one is the original Hunger Games trilogy films. Now, those ones are just the original, so Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2. Now, because it's based off of the trilogy, it brought the books to life in a way that changed certain parts, but it didn't make it super different. Like, all the things that were added were good parts to it. And certain parts made it funny. All the actors did really well. One of my favorite scenes from the original was when Haymitch comes in, he's like, the refreshments. That's what he said. When they asked why he's here, it was the refreshments.
So why are you here then?
The refreshments.
But within that, I think the worst of those was the original Hunger Games. It's not a bad movie. It just wasn't the best. Now, it was a great movie. Watched it with my cousin. It was a bit fast-paced and felt like a nature documentary, but it also did have a different director from the rest of them. The rest had Francis Lawrence. This one had Gary Ross. And a lot of people found that Lawrence did a little better. My number 2 ranking was both Mockingjays, because they split the third book into 2 parts, which a lot of people complained about it, but I actually like it because it gave more details than the first 2 movies. The ending of part 2, that was like the end of the trilogy at the time, at least, was pretty sad. It showed Katniss kind of happy. She was obviously still scarred from everything that happened in the series, but she appeared slightly more at peace. She did quietly admit all the horrors that she went through. But the best one, if you don't know the series and couldn't tell already, the best one was Catching Fire. Showed a lot of great events leading up to the second rebellion from the series, and it gave a lot of characters that we liked. When I watched it with my family, they really missed Mags. She was the older lady from District 4, and it was sad, but my only problem with it was in the original book, it mentioned 2 people who had escaped District 8, I believe, who does textiles. And they met Katniss outside the forest in 12, and they revealed how they think District 13 exists. That would have been a good part to add into the movie itself, but they didn't. But number 3 being Twister, the old one. This one used to be my favorite. It was a great one, and then Twisters came along, and then it replaced... Twister is still the number 1, but this one stayed second place for a very short 10 months after being in first place for 10 or so years. So definitely went down, and that was because of the Hunger Games. That one, as I've mentioned, took number 2 with the entire series. Now, third place, still a great movie. It shows parts that are true, and it mixed fiction and nonfiction pretty well, and had pretty good plot. I do think Twisters copied certain parts of it, but they did make it overall slightly better than that. Number 4, despite it being a holiday movie, I have to say Home Alone. Now, it was a great holiday movie, and obviously it's pretty funny with all the traps Kevin set up to get against Harry and Marv. after Lost in New York, this franchise did go downhill. And 6-1 Home Sweet Home Alone was okay. But it had funny, likable characters. Marv is kind of dumb, but in a funny way. Obviously, the best part was when Harry and Marv were trying to break into Kevin's house and failed miserably. I think that's because there's all those traps that Kevin had set up, which definitely made it funny, and then all the movies copied it, basically. But then at number 5, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. It brought back, like, the same characters, which I liked, and certain plot points were similar, but it had changed the setting, added new characters. The part in the hotel was pretty funny, because everybody had originally thought that Kevin's dad, Peter, was with him and just didn't show up, at least at the front desk, didn't show up at the front desk. But that ended up not being true. But it was still funny. Home Alone 3 was okay after this one, but then after that it got really bad. Like Home Alone 4, it was the McAllisters are divorced, and Kevin's younger somehow. And it also, they missed out on two of Kevin's siblings, which was weird to me. And then Kevin visits his dad at his girlfriend's house, and it was just overall a weird movie. And then 5 was even worse. 6 wasn't bad, like I said. Brought back parts. It was a repeat, but it wasn't a horrible repeat that we had from that. And of course, like, this is my opinion. You could think differently. Not all of these movies have to be your favorite, but that's me with number 1 at Twisters, great movie. Number 2, the entire Hunger Games trilogy. Twister, the old one, being at number 3. The original Home Alones at 4 and 5, respectively. This is about all the time I have left. So again, that's my opinion. The reasons for those opinions, of course, feel free to watch them yourself if you haven't, because I would definitely recommend all of these. See what you like, dislike about them. We've got a quick message for you, but thanks for listening to The Rating Reel on WMTH Park Ridge. I'm your host, Jonathan.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.